Go. And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night Paranormal Live. It's hosted by myself, Paul from Host with Ghosts, Andrew South Coast Ghost, Daniel from Mystical Legends, Luke, Paula, and Julia for Paranation. So, welcome again to Monday Night Live. Tonight, Daniel's going to talk us through a bit of his conference coming up. You may have heard me mention over the last few weeks, coming up very soon. So, lots and lots of things going on there. Also, his trip to Florida to the Bigfoot conference in Florida, which will be really interesting to find out who he's met and all of that type of stuff. And then Daniel will have to drop off because he's got another meeting coming up. And then we'll carry on the conversation with a Friday night paranormal investigation. Unfortunately, I couldn't go myself, but Julia, Paula, and Angela, and Luke, and a few others went. So we'll hear from them about where they went and how they got on. So, Daniel, over to you, my friend.
Hi guys, it's been a very long couple of weeks, let's say. Yes, I arrived back from Florida. I think it was about a week and a half now. Since I've been back, and it was an incredible experience. I got invited to the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference with roughly about 5,000 people. And basically, me and Dad flew over, and we met RPG, who was here in the UK, and he's from Expedition Bigfoot. I met Russell Acord from Expedition Bigfoot. Um, and a bunch of other researchers, and actually Brian King Sharp was there, our guest headliner this year. So it was an incredible experience to meet them, and the VIP dinner went really well. Kind of photos were being taken, and it was lovely to hang out with Renee Holland, who was here a couple of months back, and it was great. But then when I stepped on stage in front of roughly about 3,000 people. And it was I don't know how to explain it. I got up and I just spoke. I just got up and spoke. I don't know how else to to explain it. I was talking for about
Yeah.
half hour. And
Did that
before
half
my
an hour
talk,
seem like an hour?
yeah, well, I was kind of interacting with the crowd, and it was amazing. And before I was on stage, I'd sold about 7 books and a couple of t-shirts.
Nice.
After, I had a longer queue than the headliner, and I was signing autographs for 6 hours. No joke, 6 hours.
Nice.
And I sold 60 books, all my
Nice.
t-shirts, all the merch. So it was an incredible experience, and to kind of
Nice.
have it with so many other amazing researchers was just I was over the moon. And to have kind of people walk up to me. I was signing all sorts of odd things. I signed a dog. I signed a dog for some reason. I don't know why. And kind of I was signing all sorts of hats. They asked, a couple of people asked if I could sign my own T-shirt, and so
Nice.
it's the convention world. But it was an amazing weekend. And obvious it's Florida, so me and Dad visited the parks as we were there, and kind of had some fun. Yes, it was a business trip, but
Business
we
trip.
we,
Business.
we had some business in Universal Studios, let's
Yeah, I
say. So
bet. Yeah. I bet. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Sizing up the roller
um,
coasters. I know. Yeah.
so yeah, it
How did
was
how
it
the
was
crowd
a
take on to you? How were the crowd there?
amazing. They were
Good. That's good.
so impressed, and say it's some of the people I spoke to, and some of the encounters that I heard was just unbelievable. and say I had a bigger line that you couldn't see the end of it. So it was like we were all in kind of under gazebos. So we have one each. The whole venue is probably it's huge. It's like a college campus. It's but the actual venue we were in is probably as big as a two farm barnyards, as in like barns.
Yeah,
So
blimey.
probably two of them. And say we're all in a line, and to have like a massive queue, and kind of some stories, and then to hang out with kind of all the guests
Yeah,
afterwards
nice.
was an experience in itself. So yeah, it's so to kind of move on slightly. It moves on quite nicely to my next topic, which is the reason that one of the reasons why we were there is we were promoting the upcoming documentary. Now, there's only certain things that I can say and certain things that I can't. So coming out, we're hoping by the end of this year it's gonna go out in the US first and then here. We are hoping kind of the Discovery Channel, that kind of stuff. And we filmed part of the documentary here in the UK a couple of months back. That's when kind of the guys came over from the US. And after that, we're doing more. The second part of filming in August. We're flying over to the States, so it's all being very very received well. And we have some kind of big names involved, and so all the documentary should be out by the end of this year. And we will all kind of post it everywhere once it's out. But that's kind of what we're promoting at the moment, and the name at the moment is Mythical Legends: My Bigfoot Life. So if you search it up online, you can find kind of bits and pieces about it. And then so kind of at every conference we're promoting documentary, this documentary, and the upcoming one we've got in 3.5 weeks. Very very lucky to have Paul one of our guests, and I'm hoping that Angela will be there as well. So we'll be saying more about the documentary at at this conference. Last kind of reminder, because I've put a couple more tickets on, but we are down. We are down to the last kind of. We're in the single numbers now. So between 1 and 10 tickets we got left. So and then we're kind of up to max capacity. We have some amazing guests, amazing talks for everyone to come and see. The event time starts at 10, so doors open to the members of the public at 10, and doors close at 7, so we're open all day. And then it's in Burnham-on-Sea, Highbridge, in the Purple Spoons Cafe, and we're in the lecture hall that is attached to the cafe, and the cafe will be open from 10 till 2:30, I think. And say it should be an absolute experience for all of us. And it should be a great event. We're having all sorts of other things there. We have vendors there, and we have a few kind of other things going on during the day that we're not releasing yet. And the talk schedule for everyone out there, just kind of that is going to be released soon. I can't give you an exact date because we haven't got it absolutely final yet. We're just polishing up a couple few bits, and then the speakers will know first, and then the speakers will kind of promote it from there. So everyone on kind of this channel, look for Paul Howard, because Paul will be kind of saying the schedule out loud, and we would love to see you. We have some Cryptic Conference merch that will be there, and we have our good friend Jonathan Downs there, and so it should be a day to remember. So if you're free, come on down, and even if you don't have tickets, still come down because we'll be doing some on the door. So feel free, and the bonus and the icing on top is it's a free event. So so it's a free event for you guys
And it's
to come
child
and
friendly as well, isn't it?
yep,
Yeah.
it's child
Children are
friendly.
welcome, aren't they?
Yeah, we
So
have some children's activities, and so kind of it's all for all ages. And we have the Bigfoot expert himself, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, give a talk virtually during the day himself. So we have some really good stuff going on that day. So it's on the 20th of July. So if anyone is around, come to the conference.
yes, make your way down there. It should be a good day, full of good people. Like Daniel was saying, good talkers. It'll be interesting. I'm
Will
looking
be.
forward to it. To
Yeah,
listen to speakers on the Bigfoot and all that type of stuff, because I've never really gone that way. But it is really interesting. So bring your children down. Have a good fun day. Daniel will be there, obviously. Not that he'll be signing anything, but there you go. His hand's worn out now. Bless him.
excuse me,
What about
excuse
my?
me.
Where's our signed T-shirts? You never sent us them. Ah, what's that all about, eh? Did you see that, Angela? Eh? We didn't get a signed
We're not good
T-shirt,
enough
did
no
we?
more. We're not Americans. No.
So make
Say
yourself make yourself
um
available. Get down to Purple Spoons. It'll be a great day. Lots of vendors there. We'll be there doing our bit. You can come and talk to us after. Look at some of the equipment. Myself will be there. Angela and part of Jenny will be there. Come down. Come and spend a day of good fun and listen to some good talkers.
I will. There's a couple more things. We have a raffle going on, and all the money. I haven't actually said this kind of publicly yet, but all that money from the raffle will be going towards Angela. All right. I've kind of made a decision, and we will be. I will be inviting Paul Howard up during the event to come and talk about Darren, because he was meant to be the MC for this event. So we'll be doing a couple of things there. So if you guys are around, it'll be great to have you. And this is the first Bigfoot conference that I'm aware of in the UK that have brought Americans over. So come and watch what they've done, because we're bringing that into the UK, where you can come and see some of the amazing adventures that these guys have been on. There's one of our guests, Richard Daniels, who has studied the emotional psychology on Bigfoot and UFO and paranormal encounters. So that should be really, really interesting. And he's written a book for you guys to go and purchase. And say we have Brian King Sharp, our guest headliner, who runs one of the biggest Bigfoot podcasts known. And he's done some really good research behind the scenes that we're not aware of. So just come and hear some of the stories, and then we've got obviously our wonderful UK guests that will be kind of saying about the UK. So it should be a remarkable day for everyone, and we do have Bigfoot on the door. So there'll be Bigfoot on the door. So make sure that you get that picture.
Will he let us in though?
Probably not. No.
That's all right. I'll just sneak round the back. I'm all right. I'm good like that. That sounds really promising. So if anybody's available, come down there, join in, have a good fun day. Daniel, what to say? Daniel will be there. We'll be myself to be there. Angela and my partner Jenny will all be there. So come along and chat to us. And so talk to us. There'll be all sorts of things to look on the table, on our table, and be lots of tables of paranormal equipment, tarot, and all sorts of things going on the table. So you're welcome to come along, have a laugh, and have a chat with us because we're good fun. Hi, Jonathan. We're good. We're good fun.
You're on mute, mate. We're just talking about the conference, and say, John, you'll be there, won't you, mate?
No.
You will be there, won't you, John?
Shut.
The amazing Jonathan Downs will be there, and say I'm excited to hear what he's got on, and we have the CFZ table with kind of Richard Freeman, John, Gwyn Palmer from the CFZ, so it should be
And Graham and Jackie.
okay. So everyone from the CFZ, or some people from the CFZ, will be there. Anything you want to say about it, John?
No.
I can't wait to meet you, John.
I'm looking forward to it, Paul.
Yes.
I'm just being as awkward as I can to Daniel this evening.
Oh, that's right. That's okay.
He's been being horrible to me and telling me, you are going to come here. You are going to come stream here.
Daniel, how can you sleep at night?
I forced John to come to come for you guys today. So
me with shortbread and chocolate.
Well, there you go. So
as long as you bring enough for us, you can't eat it all on your own, mate.
No.
Yeah.
Just John.
No. It don't work like that. You need to be having a word with you, mate. Hey, John, it don't work like that. You've got to share it between everybody. It's going to be an expensive conference for you, that will, all shortbread.
Well, I will be getting... And also, John, I only said shortbread. I didn't say a whole packet, did I? Maybe one shortbread.
It was implied.
You can't buy shortbread in one portion. You have to buy a whole packet.
I'll eat the rest. I'll give John one, and I'll give you half.
No, you won't. That's fine. No, I'll give you what's left over from the tin. Me and John will be all right. Well, you can have the leftovers, eh, John?
You really are a horrible child, Daniel.
Excuse me, but John, seriously, mate, anything you want to say about the conference?
Yes.
Go on then.
I was going to say it now.
Yes, say it now.
It's going to be very good, and I'm going to be there.
Well, that's it then.
And I'm being as awkward to Daniel as possible.
But if
and
you're
he will be on the day.
It's not
yes,
a worry.
I will be there on the day. Yes, I am giving a lecture. Yes, I am going to... You know, Daniel's got this thing about being the youngest cryptozoologist.
Here we go.
I'm going to prove that this is not true.
Okay, by bringing a 3-year-old.
Guinevere, this little boy who is 3, is going to be wearing a Bigfoot t-shirt. So he's the youngest cryptozoologist.
See, look what John's doing to me. He's.
And I'm going to bring him up onto stage and introduce him to everybody as the youngest cryptozoologist.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Right.
Otherwise, Paul, I'll get like a shoot where he just goes down.
No, you won't, because I'll be holding the handle. That's my job. I haven't told you yet.
well, me and Angela will kind of push you off, and then we'll.
Don't blame Angela. Don't bring Angela into this. You're on your own, mate. You're a young adult now. You can take this stick.
And I'm an elderly adult.
There you go.
Well, I actually pointed out to John earlier that my brains are older than he is.
You're what?
My brain is actually older than he.
Glad you said your brain.
Well,
Yeah.
considering I'm 65, that means you'll probably be getting dementia anytime soon.
Well, no, John. Your actual personality is like a 12-year-old. So we will all
yeah.
enjoy that at the event.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
My
so
personality is like a 12-year-old. I've never grown up.
Best way to be, you know.
Cushions of a
Best
high
way to be.
sophistication.
right.
So, is that it, Daniel? You off, or you're staying on for a few minutes, or what? Yeah.
I got another 5 minutes or so. Yeah.
Okay.
So
You're going off and doing a
meeting.
podcast or something, are you?
It's going to get you shortbread,
Yeah.
John.
You bully me into coming on, and then you're just going to bugger off, are you?
Yeah, he's got,
No,
got to order you
I got
shortbread.
5 minutes. I got 5 minutes. It's fine.
This is what young
That's all it
people
takes
are
at our
like.
age.
Poor chap.
Anyway, that's obviously Daniel's conference coming up. So well worth a good day out. Come along if you can. You got a spare. You'll enjoy it. Lots to do. Lots of interactive stuff. Jonathan will be there. Some really
Well, you
good
only come
speakers will be there.
talk to me. You don't have to listen to whatever nonsense he's.
Oh, I don't listen to Daniel anyway, John. It's all right. I just talk to you.
It's just rude, isn't it? It's just
No,
rude.
no. It's just adulthood, mate. Get used to it. Anyway, Friday night there was a last minute ghost hunt with Julia, Angela, Paula, I think Dora, Luke, and his mum, and Nigel. Yeah. So they're going to talk a little bit about the paranormal night on they went to. A bit of a last minute with myself, and Jen couldn't make it. The motorway was blocked, but it was starting to rain, so we were going to come down on the bike. So we gave Swerve that, but we will go again at some stage. So who would like to talk about Friday night?
Hello, Angela.
It was what was it called? The
Gunpowder Mill.
was it Chilworth Gunpowder Mill? Something like that. Yeah, it's quite a long walk from where we left the park. We thought we weren't going to get there ever, but when you got there, it's basically it's massive sort of stone building. Most of it is like not there anymore. It's just like a ruin of a building, really. And there's sort of bits where you could go down the stairs, but you could see that obviously there used to be more floors, but now it's just like one big open thing. And I wasn't actually expecting much from it, but as soon as we got down there and we got a table out with a glass on, and as soon as you put fingers on the glass, it just started moving, which was really surprising. Sometimes you have to wait for it to build up, but it just seems to be there already, just sort of waiting. And yeah, I wrote down all what we got on the board. If you want to,
Yeah,
There's a
does it make sense?
I don't know if you can see it. Very good.
go.
Oh, that's
Okay, you're right.
Hang on, I've lost my glasses.
It looked like.
It
Not very good,
So-
but there you go.
So would that have been a 3-story building, or would that 2-story? Do you know?
looked like two.
it looked like two in the picture.
Yeah.
Well, forgive me. Where is Chilworth?
I think it's
Guildford.
Guildford. Sort of,
Guildford.
yeah. I don't think it's far from a place, Newlands Corner, is it? Sort of Dorking Hills, Surrey Hills. Is it in that area?
Yeah.
It's sort of around that area, isn't it?
Mm.
Ah, good. So what else happened there? Was it? See you later, Daniel.
We're going
Thanks,
with
guys.
Bless you.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Well,
The first,
So what else happened there then? You got
give you a
first
list.
person we had through was someone called William.
okay.
And it gave the number of 3689. We couldn't work out what that was first, but then further questioning down the line, we think he died on the 3rd of the 6th, 1989. There was a bit of confusion with the dates, though.
Right.
Like their when they were born and then how old they were, it didn't always quite add up. So we're not sure what was going on with the numbers. and apparently
That's weird,
William
isn't it?
there. He wasn't married, and he worked there making gunpowder, but he didn't like it. And there was an explosion there.
I think, didn't Ryan do a bit of research while we were there? And did he say how many people perished? I can't.
Oh, it's
Well, we
58.
worked out it was 58, didn't they? But it was less than that, I think. Because when we was talking to that William, he said 58, didn't he?
In the explosion, or just over the years it was open?
I believe in the explosion.
Yeah, an explosion.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's what?
did you establish the date of the explosion?
No, we didn't ask that, did we?
Well, I think what it was is that we was trying to get the date, which I believed it was this. Well, the explosion must have been the 3rd of the 6th. It said 1989, but then we worked it out. It was 1889, wasn't it? We got to basically.
Oh, yeah,
ask it
further
then. Do
on,
you remember?
Hang
Yeah.
on, I'm
That would
just looking it up.
that
Children.
would that would make more sense, wouldn't it, than
Yeah,
89?
'cause on here
Yeah.
I've got some information. Where is it?
Because it must have shut down in the late 19th century, mustn't it?
Yeah.
You know, whether it was making gunpowder right up until into the 19th century. Because I did a gunpowder mill in Epsom, Yule
Oh,
Court. I don't know if anybody's heard of Yule Court.
No.
Yes,
You heard of it, Julia?
I have. I was going to hire it, and then my calendar got filled up, and then I went to hire it again. A couple of years later,
Yeah.
it had been taken over by another management company or something, and the price had just escalated so much that it was just,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite doable in a
And
fair.
what momentous event happened there
No idea. Can't remember.
where we met?
oh.
Is that where
Yeah,
you
that
met
was,
on court?
yeah. That's where me and Jem met. Yeah,
Oh.
first time. But we were there. There was a paranormal night there, and in the grounds of Yule Court is the gunpowder. What would have been the old gunpowder mill. So you go over a bridge, and obviously a bit similar to yours. It reminded me a bit similar of that one you went to, because it was by the river, so it would have turned the wheel, you know, for grinding the gunpowder. The one at Yule Court used to make gunpowder for the American Civil War, and it was made there and then shipped out, and that had an explosion 3 or 4 times there. People were killed there, and the building was blown away. And it had, after the 2nd or 3rd time, they realised what was causing the explosion was they were using granite to grind the gunpowder, and it was creating heat and sparks. So after the 3rd time the building got blown up, they realised they needed to change the granite grinders to a different type of grinding wheel to stop that happening. And then I can't remember what year it shut down, but that's very similar to that. But this one, you can actually see the remnants of the last explosion, because a lot of the outbuildings are still derelict and blown over, like solid walls just laying on its side, and which is the remnants from the explosion. But Luke, what did you get out? Sorry, Jonathan.
What did you say those figures were again that you got?
We got 1889, didn't we?
Yeah, 3689.
Because I've just looked and it was 1879, the explosion.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wonder if they got a bit confused with the dates and everything else, because when we was going through everything, so they said 1989 originally, because they said the 3rd of the 6th, 1989, and we thought that don't seem right.
No, because even if they do still make gunpowder in 1989, I'm sure there's a easier way of doing it that doesn't blow people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a less dangerous way, and I'm sure. So, what else happened in there while you were there?
I caught a baby toad.
Sorry, we missed that, Julia.
I caught a baby toad, and I put him in the pond in the river.
You're so good.
A baby toad. I thought
He was so cute. I think Gemma took a photo. He was so cute. What else happened?
We spoke to Molly, didn't we? And Mike. They're both 48.
Oh,
The
and at the
couple
end
that
of
was there.
the night, it was raining, and I thought that's going to like build up some energy with the rain. And Cheryl's got a light box, and we said, "Oh, you know, can you light the light box up? Can you flash it 4 times?" And it went.
Yeah.
So right at the
Indeed.
end, about 11:30, if the light box started to like sort of zoomed into action, the music box went once, but it really started to pick up, and we were sort of just out there getting wet, and obviously getting wet, and
Yeah.
but they really, you know, that light box, it's sometimes it, you know, they can make it work, sometimes they can't, but it was really flashing and
Nice.
on demand as well. So
Was it in a doorway or in the middle of the room, or where was it placed?
just in the middle of the room, where it was on top of the we had the table, we had the board on top of it, and then we just put it on top of that because it was starting to get a bit wet out there. So but yeah, I was surprised at how fast the activity started. We literally just put the glass on the table, put our fingers on it, and it was going.
Do you
And
think that's because it's never been done before?
Well, I did a couple of lives, and some people commented and said, "Oh, you know, we've been there. It's really good." And I'd heard of other groups going saying it was really good. So,
Right.
yeah, I think it's been done a few times. I think, you know, people,
Okay.
you know, it's been done a few times, and they're used to people going and asking questions. So, yeah, it was.
So you're not near any houses or anything like that. It's just literally off a footpath near a stream.
Yeah.
At the other end, wasn't it? At the other end, there's houses. Do you mean? But not many. Do you mean? There's not many houses around there.
Right. Right. That's
'Cause we
interesting.
went to different areas. See, because we was at one end of the area we went to, and that's when we got William, Molly, Edward, which was William's brother, wasn't it? Basically. And then he was only 13, I think we got basically. Was that right, Angela?
I haven't got anything about an Edward.
Oh, yeah, we had Edward, William. Mike was married to Molly.
Yeah.
She gave us the ages of the children, didn't she? Which was, I think, 2, was it? 2,
3,
4,
6,
6,
4, and 8.
Yeah. And then we found out when she said she had 6 children, we couldn't understand where the other 2 was, but she was pregnant with 2.
Right. So it'd be interested to know if they actually run the gunpowder mill, wouldn't it? Whether they have family. He was like the manager or whatever of the gunpowder mill. It'd be interesting to try and find out how they're related into that mill, wouldn't it? Really?
Well, they lived there, I assume, the husband and wife with the children. It sounds like, and there was, and when we spoke to them as such, they were saying that there's 58 of them died there.
Right.
So
So can you imagine that was in the grounds of a big house? Do you get that sense of feeling that it was in the grounds of a big house, in the grounds of what we know now as an industrial estate, or what was the feeling of the area?
It could have been because there's at the top there's like metal, wasn't there, at the top of it basically? So that could have been the floor where they could have been on originally. Do you know what I mean? They could have been living on top of that, see, and they could have been doing the gunpowder underneath, couldn't they? Because I know that Nigel and that was behind us with Luke's mum, and we were saying about a fire because we felt heat at the back of there. They did, and everything else, the warmth.
Oh, right.
And I said, was there talking to them and saying, was there a fire behind there? And they said yes. So unless maybe that's where the gunpowder were. I don't know.
See, that's the thing. And then in gunpowder mills, they never really worked out that using granite would cause heat and friction, and obviously a spark, until it all went bang, and then they realised, because gunpowder is quite volatile, isn't it, in that sort of raw state. Sorry, Julie, what was you going to say?
I can't remember. I think I was just going with the flow. I've got this cough at the moment. I do apologise.
I was going to say, I think one of them took a liking to Gemma, and her face got really hot.
Oh, that's funny.
It actually went red.
Oh, all right.
We'll send to Julia. Thank you, Sarah. That's very kind.
Bye, Sarah. Good evening. Welcome.
It was
Thank
William,
you for
wasn't
coming
it?
in.
I think it was William that liked her actually, because we end up putting Luke would know basically. We actually nicked one of his mum's cigarettes
Oh,
because he
yeah.
was. Cause remember, it was on the board came
Yeah.
up that
Yeah.
William likes Camel cigarettes.
All
So
right.
so Nigel said, "Go on, hand over." So we hand over the cigarette and put on the board for him,
Yeah.
and it was
So
funny,
would it,
wasn't it?
so wouldn't Camel cigarettes be later in the turn?
I would have
I
thought
don't
they'd have
know.
been later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. He was on about Camel's come up as Camel on the board, basically
Right.
cigarette. So we gave him a cigarette, and she was to take it back, and
Yeah.
we was like, no, and he was going no every time we got
Yeah.
to yes and no. He was going no, you can't have it back. Do you know what I mean? It was quite funny.
It's quite interactive then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so I
that
was
was good.
head of the board of where they were. There was two guys, wasn't there? Was it William and
Mm.
Edward? I went up
Yes,
to do some
correct.
boarding, and the
Yeah.
guys was going where they were standing around the board. But it was, I just couldn't believe how fast the activity
Hmm.
started. Probably you have to try, don't you? If it's the first
Sure.
time,
Sure.
you know, give it sort of half an hour, 45 minutes or something. But
Mm.
it did start quite, you know, literally as soon as we put our fingers on the grass, whoa, it was going.
Mm.
What did you feel? What did you feel like being in there? The atmosphere.
All right.
Creepy at first, I found it a little bit creepy.
Right.
But I think it's because I've never been there before. But once
Yeah.
you start
'cause it was,
around, I wouldn't say it's huge, but it's
No.
interesting.
I think
Yeah.
when you go into the main bit, wasn't it? Basically, like you say, the tunnel bit, basically, go down steps. That can be a bit creepy then. But then when you went down to steps, because there was a lot of there's a big, brick bit basically, which you couldn't see round it as such, and we could hear. Luke was hearing noises.
It was, yeah.
what type of noises? Sorry, Jonathan, were you going to say something?
Yeah, but ask about noises first.
What about the noises, Luke? Blimey,
Like,
Julie, you've got hay fever.
No, I've just got like a real bad cough, and it's really annoying. It was
Yeah,
something
yeah.
and then it's, you know, a bit of a temperature, and then it's sort of like gone on to a nasty, annoying cough. So I do apologise.
That's all right. Go on, Luke. What was the noises?
feels like shuffling in the leaves, like someone walking around the leaves. Because there's leaves down there.
Right.
I felt someone rush towards me, and I thought it was Ryan, but he was behind me, and he wasn't outside of me.
Right.
Maybe jump a bit.
Made
Like
you
someone
jump.
rushed towards me. Like someone rushing towards me, I thought it was Ryan. There's no one there.
Did you? What other noises were there? Same sort of thing, or was there other? What described as sort of noises there was? Rushing or walking through the leaves. What else was there?
That's how it was, I think. I'm not sure what other leaf noises there was. Mainly the like footsteps walking in the leaves, I think it was, crunching.
Did anybody do any recordings, EVPs?
Gemma did, I think.
No.
Gemma did one, yeah.
Did she? That'd be
Yeah.
interesting to hear then. If
Yeah.
there's something on there. Gemma, if you're watching, that'd be interesting to hear that.
Plus,
So,
she recorded, didn't she? She recorded as well that the William, I think it was Edwards, was actually whispering things in her ear. So
all
she
right.
didn't, because she felt this heat, like Angela said, this heat on the face. So we asked them basically if they could put a message into her ear, whisper in her ear. So we don't know if she's caught anything or not.
That'd be interesting to hear, wouldn't it? I was looking at some of the pictures. There's some good photographs in there. In there.
Yeah,
You know-
I think I caught one. I did one of Ryan was looking out of one of the corridors, and I took a couple of photos, one after the other. And the other one of them looks like it's got like someone like looking around the door because it's
Okay.
colour and that. So, I don't think I caught any unusual EVPs or any unusual ghost photos. I did a bit of a wander around on my own and did a bit of recording.
Yeah.
But I haven't. I have sort of lightened up the photos, but I haven't sort of like spotted anything in anything I took. But the activity was there.
So was it quite outside the building? You know, you could hear, or could you hear the water running, or is the wheel still on the mill?
No.
I didn't see a wheel.
No.
No.
Was like circles there, but it was a different part of
just
it.
them. That's all that I can get back.
Them
Just
circles.
them
Oh,
on
okay.
the path.
Yeah.
They're on the path, basically, when you go up to halfway up the road, basically.
Are those old millstones?
Look like
Yeah.
it, don't they, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would have been the old millstones from it put on the path
Yeah.
as keepsake sort of thing.
Yeah.
The
And was
thing
there
that I
anything
find,
else? Sorry.
the thing I find interesting about this is that you've had so many people coming through to you,
Yeah.
or so many things coming through to you,
Mm.
and every single one of the numbers they've given you are wrong.
Mm.
Camel cigarettes weren't invented until 1913, and there were only 7 people killed in the explosion.
Yeah.
So it's interesting the way. I
think
don't
there's
think this either proves or disproves anything,
No.
because there's a long history of stuff coming through on a Ouija board that is completely and utterly wrong.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, you always
I've
got to go
often
as a
wondered.
skeptic, haven't you?
Well,
It,
I'm wondering if whatever sends the messages through
yeah.
is deliberately lying because they think it's amusing, playing a joke on you, or
Mm.
whether it's they don't know. So they're just
Yeah.
making up the
Yeah.
first figures that come into their mind.
Mm.
It does. That begs the question. It may be from Gemma. It may be what was there before. Possibly. It could
Yeah.
be that question we were asking last week, Jonathan, was about, do spirits see us or do they hear our voices?
Mm.
Because it's not often we see spirit. So is it spirit that don't see us but just hear our voices and you interact that way? That was a sort of a question we were having last week about,
Well,
spirit
let's say
contact.
we interact with them through a peculiarly artificial way.
Mm.
Us 6 human beings here are interacting with each other because we can see and hear each other, and we can pick
Mm.
up on each other's body language.
Yeah.
But the only way we can get messages from them, the other side, or whatever it is by using a complicated artificial means. And one wonders if they have to use something equally as peculiar and counterintuitive to communicate with us.
Yeah. Also, the other question is back in the 18th century, our dialect these days is completely different to what it was in their day. The old English dialect has changed over them years, and it's whether they understand some of the wordings that we give or we ask them to do something, is whether they understand. Also, they might be illiterate as well. They couldn't read or write in them days.
Yeah.
Remember, though, this was only 1879, which was only 9 years before my granddad was born. So
Yeah.
it's within.
But you still would have had children that weren't educated even in that time, Jonathan, wouldn't you?
Oh gosh, yes, because
Chimney
have
sweeps and
universal
children like that.
Mm.
universal education wasn't really until after the First World War.
Yeah, yeah,
But the fact is, I think it's more complicated. I think that whatever it is that you pick up on these messages, I don't think it's necessarily that you're picking up people, things, entities, whatever they are, that have first-hand experience of what they're talking about.
Mm.
yeah,
It could be like, imagine you're there in the gunpowder mill, you've never been there before, and some tourists come up to you and ask you, hey, what's happened? What happened here at this gunpowder mill? You don't even know it was a gunpowder mill. So you make up whatever nonsense you want to,
Mm.
because you want to impress the tourists, because you want them to give you money, because you fancy one of them, whatever. and and I think it's unwise to assume that whatever sends you messages is telling the truth. It's unwise to do that with human beings. You meet a total stranger on the road. You shouldn't necessarily believe that what they say to you is the truth, but to a entity or whatever the heck it is. I'm trying not to say spirit, because I don't think whatever these things are the spirits of the dead. I think they're something pre-existing. I think they're low-level earth elementals or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think one should ever assume they're telling the truth.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, just because you're in the gunpowder mill doesn't necessarily mean that they're there from that era,
No.
does it? We
It
just
also
assume.
doesn't necessarily mean they died in we
No.
don't know how many other explosions there were there, but it doesn't. It might have been over a period of 30 years or however long the mill was active, that the 50 number. How many people did you come up with? 40?
58.
58. That might have been 58 people who worked there who died. Some of them died of cancer. One of them got run over by a horse-drawn cart. One got struck by lightning. It could, because if you're talking to assuming that whatever they are that sends the message over, you're assuming that one, they have the same terms of reference as us, and two, we've already said two, that they're telling the truth, but three, that they even understand where they are, who they are, what they are, or who and what you guys are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more likely that it's someone from the gunpowder mill, being as they're connecting to that place.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be anything, really, didn't it? You open that form of communication, so, or is it maybe 58 just work? See, you got to also remember they would have had accidents there as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
There were 200 people who worked there. I just checked.
200.
Yeah.
Yeah, but any one time they could have had accidents, couldn't they? Because it's a mechanical.
58 people might have died there.
Yeah. It's interesting though. We just naturally assume that we're in that area. That's who we're contacting with, isn't it? So what else did you get? Any videos? Is anybody taking videos or anything like that?
There's a little bit of video in, but I can't say I caught anything that I could say was a ghostly shadow or anything like that.
Right.
I've sort of like have listened to them, but I don't think I can say I caught anything. But I think you just have to, it's all entertainment, isn't it? Just make up your own mind as to what they're saying, and they were quite chatty, but as John rightly said, you don't know whether they're telling the truth or not. You don't know whether that's real or anything like that. And it could just be somebody from, say the 1940s or something who's decided to come in and pretend that they're from, the 1800s and they work there. I think you just got to take it with salt, really.
Yeah.
Because you went in the other room, didn't you? You went in the other room. Yeah, because what she's put on there about loads of lights going off, because we went into another section, see, Julia did, that's when she was on about that box with the flashing lights and everything, wasn't it? And then
is that the shadow box?
Yes.
Yeah. They're pretty good, them, aren't they? I've got one of them. We used it at the RAF Kenley, and it's quite impressive when it goes off, because the idea of it is to show the direction of which whatever it is, entity, spirit is moving, is to give you an indication of what's going on in that area. We used it at RAF Kenley, and it was a real good. We had some good contact on that, so they are good equipment to use. When you can. Did you have any cat balls set out?
Yeah, I didn't get anything on the cat. Oh yes,
Nothing
we did.
on the cat.
On the table, wasn't it?
When it's on the table at the end, the cat ball started to go on.
Yeah.
But
You
Yeah.
had a cat ball go off, didn't you? Then you had your that light box go off as well, and then the something else was going off as well, wasn't it? And then you
Yeah,
you had
the
your
K2
it's all
was
round area, wasn't it?
The cat balls, Jonathan, are lit like a round ball full of LED lights, and when they're moved, they start flashing inside the light.
Oh, I've never seen that. I've never heard.
Yeah, if you look them up, flashing cat balls, they call them. We use them to get spirit to move them, and we've had. I'll try and send you a video of the one we got at the. Was it the paper mill, Julia?
Yeah.
Was it paper
Silk
mill?
mill.
Silk
Yes,
mill.
yeah.
I'll send you a video of that, Jonathan, if I can. And you see the one on that, the way that cat ball moves across the floor and comes off the door. I mean, to
God.
me, that's very convincing. Seeing that we had an apron hanging down by the door, so we knew there was no wind or anything would have blown that ball in the direction it went and how it changed direction. But they're sort of some of the equipment we use. We get spirit to move them, set them out in different locations. You can jump up and down and, do whatever near them and they don't go off. They have to be moved, slightly moved for them to start flashing. So that's some of the,
it was like on concrete on Friday.
Yeah.
It was like resting on concrete. There's no way we could have jumped around and set off the music box or set off the cat balls.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
everything was like on solid. It could have been a bit of wind that could have set it off, but it was one of those really still nights. It was quite warm.
Yeah.
And it was quite still, and we were quite sheltered where we were. But yeah, the wind could have blew the cat ball a little bit. But as for the light box, I don't know what set that off. And the music box as well. Something had to go over the sensor to make that go off, and that was put up high away from everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting. It was
Sounds
interesting.
like it. Sounds had a good time there. It's worth going back again one night then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Did,
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
did any of you have a compass with you?
No.
Yeah, yeah. I used to go on ghost hunts, but
Any magnetic anomalies?
I used to use it, and then I sort of like forgot I had it. But then I think Dad mentioned it. Yes, and he's going to start using a compass. I thought, I said, I've got one. I used to use it on the ghost hunt. I've just been trying to find it and dig it out. So
I
because
wonder if you used your phone, the compass on your phone, whether it would react in the same as a normal manual compass.
I wouldn't have thought so. I would have
No.
thought probably need a
No.
magnetic lodestone.
but it was I used to use it back in 2008.
All right.
Because it's something I'm working on at the moment, is that there are increasing numbers of magnetic and EMF anomalies where
My end.
which it goes down. And I'd be grateful if you guys could try and map each area you do for magnetic and EMF anomalies.
Yeah.
I'm doing that with the Bigfoot places as well, because I think all this stuff is somehow interlinked.
Yeah.
I think that Earth magnetism has a lot to do with it, but that's only a theory I'm working on at the moment. But
Because strong EMF would affect your body and senses anyway, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Give you that. That's what gives you prickly hair and all sorts of things. Because obviously we use what they call K2, Jonathan, which are EMF meters that measure that EMF. And we tend to spread them out around the room and up the stairs in different.
Yeah.
And they have lights that move from green to red.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We've got one of those.
We tend to use them, and if you get contact on it, what I try and do really before, and it's probably the same as Julia and the others, is we try to go in there earlier enough to do a dry run around, get a baseline basically. So we're looking for EMF going off, K2s going off in certain rooms, which you could put down to electrical cables or telecommunication cables or something going on. So we tend to do a dry run, you know, like a baseline. So we all get a baseline of, oh yeah, when I went in there earlier, that did go off, or so you can't get confused when you are in a room and nothing happened when you first went in, but something starts to happen. You can sort of disregard cables and electric because you'd have picked it up the first time round.
Yeah, of course.
So
Always
Did
try and
you?
debunk it.
Oh,
funny as the EMF were going mental and my face went on fire and was really red hot from Gemma.
now was the EMF there beforehand? Were there any EMF anomalies there before you started having the interaction with whatever it was?
So when you first got there, did anybody have the K2s going?
No.
No, I don't think they were. From what I can
No.
remember, I don't think they were. I think they all just one started, and then I think the first thing we noticed was the glass started moving.
Right.
We put the cat balls out. We put the motion sensor box out and the K2s out, and but the glass was the first thing that we noticed was going.
Right.
From what I remember.
Because
It was going around fast, wasn't it? The glass, not that really fast.
the big question is it the entities or ghosts or spirits or whatever the hell they are that cause the EMF and magnetic anomalies and fluctuations, or is it the other way around? Is it a place that has some sort of predisposition to magnetic or EMF anomalies, and it is the anomalies which cause the phenomena?
Possibly.
That's the big question.
Yeah. I mean, the other question you got to ask yourself as well is there ley lines underneath it, under the building? You know, that can affect readings as well. When you've got ley lines under buildings. Sorry.
Did you check for ley lines on the map?
We do go after we normally do, because we look at the ordnance survey maps and various things like that, and they give us an indication of where the ley lines are. One of our favourite places we go, Waverley Abbey, you know, there's an interaction where two ley lines cross there.
And
you know, we did,
for the dragon.
and we always get something in that area wherever they meet is where we normally get an interaction.
My doubting rods
Cable.
to detect where the ley lines are.
Yeah. You
I've
found them at Waverley, didn't you, Julia?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been practicing for over 20 years now, so they're quite handy. They're quite handy to try and detect things.
Did you douse the gunpowder mill?
No, we didn't. No.
No. It was short notice, wasn't it? Rush up there quick.
Good. When you go back, I think you should, because dowsing is, although no one knows how it works, it does work. I can do it. My dad taught me how to do it when I was a boy. And some people do it, some people can't. But I would suggest that you try and douse the ley lines and try and see what ley lines there may be on a ordnance survey map before you go again.
Yeah. I'll try and look that down, and then, like Julia takes, we got a set of dowsers as well. Julia takes hers, and then next time we go, we'll try that. What I'll try and do is if we go next time and try and video it, so you have video evidence of it happening. You know why it happens at the time it happens.
I can give my rods to people and say, "Oh, go and take them off. Go and have a go." And they're like, "Oh, they're not doing anything because they don't." For some reason, they just don't work for everybody. They work for some people, and another they're just like two bits of metal, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Dowsing rods don't work for me. I can do it with a hazel twig, and I know people who can't do it with a hazel twig. I don't know. It's just probably because my dad taught me when I was about 8 how to do it with a hazel twig. I've done it with it ever since, and every time I tried to use work rods, they've never worked.
Strange, isn't it? You know, because they're mechanical as well, aren't they? Really, they're handheld. There's no AI, no computer chips, no nothing in them. They're just back to basic equipment, aren't they? Really,
Hmm.
you know. So it'd be interesting to take them there and then video the action going on.
The
What else?
interesting thing with me is it works with hazel. It doesn't work with any other tree. I've
Strange,
tried
isn't it?
birch, I've tried it with oak, and it doesn't work. It only works with hazel.
Do you have it in like a wide and douse
Yeah.
it with like a wide
Yeah.
branch? Yeah.
Sort of wishbone shape.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I've never tried that. I've only ever had the rods, the metal rods. I've never tried it with a Y-shaped twig. I might give that a go.
Oh, please
Interesting. Isn't it?
do. Let me know what happens.
It'd be interesting. I've never
Yeah.
given it a twig, so yeah.
Is that a specific tree that you should get it from, Jonathan,
Yeah.
or is it just
A hazel tree. It doesn't work
hazel tree
for me. It doesn't work with any other tree.
other than the hazel tree? I
And
wonder what the connection is with that then.
well, my wife could do it with a pendulum, and I would
All right.
never do that. And her pendulum was buried with her when she died. So I thought
Right.
she died, so it wasn't sounding like I buried her alive with a pendulum. But
How funny. So what
That's
else?
fine. Pendulum. I'm not sure if it's my hands shaking or whatever. But the dowsing rods I find are a bit more solid for me.
Yeah.
It's like some people can use tarot cards and some people can use runes. I can use runes. I can't use tarot cards. They've never worked for me.
No.
But I can do I Ching as well. You know, it's just it's
Each to his own, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You can connect with some equipment and you can't with others, can you?
No.
You know, you can't say, oh, everything works with me, because you tend to connect with certain parts of equipment more so than others.
See,
Tomorrow
that's
night.
Runes and I Ching. That's where
Yeah.
I started as a teenager.
How was it?
I Ching, yeah.
Oh, right.
Many years ago. Yeah.
Interesting.
It wasn't my path, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's where that comes from. That
My interest just sort of grew.
yeah. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a podcast to America, for a group called Haunted Souls in America. So I shall be promoting us on there. It's 12:30 our time, 7:00 in the evening their time. So it's for an hour podcast to America. So apparently they have been watching this live. So they contacted to go on there. So I should be in there 12:30 tomorrow night, our time. So that's for 1 hour. So I'll be late into work, no doubt, the next morning. I won't tell them why. I'll just say I woke up late. So that's quite exciting to do that. So all round, you had a really good night on there Friday night, other than the weather sort of let. Would you have stayed on there longer if it hadn't rained?
Well, it was before we knew it. It was like gone 12, and it started to rain. Yeah, the time just flew, and I think if it wasn't, we probably would have gone on to about 1ish. I think, but it was just getting home, and some of us had a bit of a trek, so you didn't want to leave it too late.
Yeah,
could have easily stayed there for another couple of hours.
that was good then. So
and it's quite light as well, really, wasn't it? It's quite light up in the sky. When you looked at it, it's quite light up there. I was quite surprised.
That's the longest day.
The longest day was
no.
The summer solstice was on the Thursday, wasn't it?
No. Yeah. Friday, 23rd.
It's Friday, 21st, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we made the most of it.
But I looked it up and it said the 20th.
That's what I thought. I thought it's the 20th, the summer solstice.
23rd.
I know the longest day.
It's the 20th. I'm sure it's the 20th.
I'll tell you.
Depends on it.
I say the 21st is the longest day. I know that. Is all I know.
The longest day is the 23rd. I think the summer solstice is the 20th.
I thought it was sunrise on.
Right, hang on. It says.
Yeah.
Right. I put in, is the summer solstice always June the 21st? And it said between 20th and 22nd of June. The solstice
Oh.
always occurs between 20th and 22nd of June. And during the leap year, such as 2024, it always falls on the 20th of June. Woohoo!
Ah, wow.
Well
Going
done,
to delete it.
well done.
Well done, Mrs. Google.
Well done.
There you go. See, I learned something else. So I think that's it for tonight. And we've talked about Friday night. Daniel talked about. So look forward to seeing you at the conference, Jonathan.
Yes, I look forward to see you all coming.
Yeah, I look a
We've
lot
got-
better in the flesh than I do on here.
I'm sure you.
And we've got an event Saturday as well at the convent.
Yes, sorry, Julie. Yes, we have. Do you want to talk? Just tell everybody about it.
Or we can do it next Monday when we've done it and
Yeah.
let everyone know.
Okay. Yeah. So Saturday coming, we're going to the convent in Andover. Is it, Julia?
Yeah, just outside Andover.
Yeah. So it's a paranormal night with Paranation. So we're all going there. You're on the shortbread there, Paul. So we're all going there on Saturday. So we're really looking forward to it. So it's quite a history on it. So I hope we get there early enough to get some daylight video around outside and inside. So do a sort of a dry run so we can get some bits and pieces, and then obviously Monday Night Live we'll update you on how scared we all got, how we was all running from the building.
They want us
it's
there a
got-
little early to sort of like give us a tour. So it sounds like it's going to be quite a good place. I think
Yeah.
it's a convent, and it used to be a hospital for USM, and so it sounds like it's quite an interesting. Even I think just to go there, you know, with a small group, and well, saying that we've got quite a lot of people going on Saturday, quite a big
Yeah.
event. But just to go there and have the freedom to just have a little wander and, you know, and
Yeah.
do what, you know, it's quite amazing. When we did the earlier in the year, just amazing.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Just a sort of, just a bit like we did at the police station and when we in Manor, we had that dry walk around, didn't we? You know, so it's always good. You know, I bring my video camera, the day one, so we'll catch some nice footage on that we can use on the, you know, further stuff. Or I send it obviously to you, Julie. You can use it on your site, whatever, and hopefully we'll all catch some really, really good contact, and hopefully the guests will enjoy it. How many new people are going? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, I think we've got about, I'd say probably half and half, I think, this time.
Okay.
So yeah, there's going to be some new people, and it'd be good. I don't know whether they've done a ghost hunt before or not, but it'd be good to see if they can, because sometimes new people become regulars, so it'd be good to get them fully engaged in what we're doing, and
Yeah,
they enjoy what we do.
yeah, cool. That sounds good. So if that's it for there are no more questions for ourselves and Jonathan. So what we'll say is have a good week, be safe, and whoever's going Saturday, we shall see you at the venue Saturday. So drive there safely, and we'll see you there. I think the doors open at 8:45, Julie. Is that right for guests?
Yes. Yeah.
So arrive around that time. Try not to be there too early because there's lots of setting up to do, you know, and last thing you want is people crashing through the doors while you're trying to set up. So if you can get there from 8:45, you know, hopefully push on and start at 9 o'clock. Is that right?
I think if everybody, you know,
We'll get
sort
on
of
time to do.
aims to arrive about 8:45, then you know we'll start letting people in from 8:45. We have to be there early because we have to do health and safety talk with the on-site caretaker. We also have to do you know, fire and safety, and we just generally have to have a look round at areas that we're not allowed in. So we have to do that before at any event. that, if we've been there multiple times before, we don't have to, we know what the rules are, but we have to do that, and you just can't do it with having people milling around and sort of like wandering off. But it's before the event starts, because I don't know what the rules are until we get there.
Sure. Okay. Cool. So
that'd be perfect to start tonight.
So we're looking forward to that, and we'll update you Monday with our findings. Maybe Luke will say something instead of sitting there.
Yeah.
So it only remains for me to say have a safe week, and from all of us on the Paranormal Monday Night Live, thank you for coming in. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining in tonight.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to hear your views and see you on here. So it remains for me to say goodbye. Have a safe week, and we'll see you Saturday, whoever's going. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.